Post exposure prophylaxis for HIV. Introduction. Post exposure management protocol for an important element of workplace safety. These guidelines describes the risk of infection, the preventive measure, and the step to be followed after the accidental occupational exposure. Healthcare professionals is defined as any person paid or unpaid working in healthcare setting who are potentially exposed to the infectious material. Exposure is defined as a percutaneous injury, contact with the mucous membrane of the eye or mouth, contact with non intact skin when the exposed skin is chapped skin or affiliated with dermatitis, contact with intact skin when the duration of contact is prolonged with blood or other potentially infectious body fluid. Occupational exposure refers to exposure to potential blood-borne infection HIV, HBV, and HCV that occur during the performance of a job duties. Non-occupational exposure refers to exposure to potentially blood-borne infections outside of the workplace setting like unsafe sex, sexual assault. Post-exposure prophylaxis (PEP) refer to the comprehensive management instituted to minimize the risk of infection following the potential exposure to the blood-borne pathogens HIV, HBV, HCV. This includes first aid, counseling, risk assessment, relevant laboratory investigation based on information consent of the source and exposed person. Depending on the risk assessment, the provision of short-term 4-week of antiretroviral drug with follow-up and support including maintaining confidentiality. Needle stick injury is a broad term that includes injuries caused by needles or other sharp objects, example glass, surgical blades, forceps that accidentally punctures the skin. Exposed person is the person who is potentially at the risk of acquiring HIV infection due to exposure to blood or potentially infectious body fluid in his or her occupation. Source person is the person who is either identified or not identified the possible source of contamination through blood or potentially infectious body fluid. NACP PEP guideline provide PEP service for all the occupational exposure and victims of sexual assault, but not for those following unsafe sexual behavior or having other high risk exposure. Risk of exposure: body fluid considered at risk, blood, semen, vaginal secretion, cerebrospinal fluid, synovial, pleural, peritoneal, pericardial fluid, amniotic fluid, other body fluid contaminated with visible blood. Body fluid considered not at risk: tears, sweat, urine or feces, saliva, sputum, vomitus. Exposure to these body fluids are considered not at risk unless these body fluids contain visible blood. For human bites, clinical evaluation must include the possibility that both the person bitten and the person who inflicted the bite were exposed to blood-borne pathogen. Transmission of HIV infection after human bites has been rarely reported. Risk of HIV transmission: blood transfusion 90 to 95%, perinatal without any intervention 15 to 40%, sexual intercourse 0.1 to 10%, vaginal 0.05 to 0.1%, anal 0.06 to 0.5%, oral 0.005 and 0.1%, injecting drugs use 0.67%, needle stick exposure 0.3%, mucous membrane splash to eye oronasal 0.09%. Comparatively risk after needle stick injury from HBV is 9 to 30% and for HCV is 1 to 1.8%. Work practice and the risk of exposure. How to protect oneself from the needle, stick, or sharp injuries. Stick compliance to universal work precaution. Avoid the use of infection where safe and effective alternatives are available. Example oral and drugs. Avoid recapping needles. Plan for safe handling and disposal of needles after use. Promptly dispose of used needle in appropriate sharp disposable containers. Report all the needle stick and sharp related injuries promptly to ensure that you receive appropriate follow-up care. Participate in training related to infection prevention. Use devices with safety procedures provided by the institute. Record and monitor injuries with an injury register. Management of the exposed person. Management of the exposure site. First aid. Skin pierced by a needle stick or a sharp instrument should be washed. Do not wash with soap and water. Do not scrub. Do not put finger in the mouth. Do not expose blood. Splash of blood of body fluid to unbroken skin. Wash it with soap and water again. Splash of the body fluids or blood from the eye with water or saline. Splash of the blood or the body fluid from the mouth. Establish eligibility for PEP. A designated person, trained doctor, must assess the risk of HIV and HPV transmission, follow an AEB. Two main factors determining the risk of infection: the nature of exposure, the status of the source patient. The nature of exposure: mild exposure. Exposure to the mucous membrane, no contact skin with small volumes. Example, a superficial wound with a plain or a low caliber needle, or contact with the eyes or mucous membrane, subcutaneous injection following small needles. Moderate exposure. Exposure to the mucous membrane, non-intact skin with large volumes, or precutaneous superficial exposure with solid needle. Example, cut or needle stick injury, penetrating gloves. Severe exposure, precutaneous exposure with large volume. Example, an accident with high caliber needle, visibly contaminated with blood. A deep wounded, transmission of a significant volume of blood. An accident with material that has previously been used intravenously or intra-arterially. The source of exposure. A baseline rapid HIV testing of source of the exposed should be done before starting PEP. Informed consent should be obtained before starting testing of the source. HIV negative. Source is not HIV infected but consider HBV and HCV. Low risk. HIV positive and clinically asymptomatic. High risk. HIV positive and clinically symptomatic. Management of exposed person. Counseling for PEP. Exposed person should receive the appropriate information about the PEP is and the risk and the benefits of PEP. He/she should be counseled of sex safe sexual practices till both baseline and 3-month HIV tests are found to be negative. Psychological support documentation on the record is essential. Assessing need for any prescribing PEP. HIV exposure code. Whether the material is blood, bloody fluid, or other potentially infected material, or instrument contaminated with one of the substance. If yes, what type of exposure occurred to the mucous membrane? Then the volume is checked, small volume EC1, if large volume for long duration EC2. If the skin is intact, no PP is required. If precutaneous infection severity is seen, less severe EC2, more severe EC3. If there is no exposure of the bloody fluids or other potentially infected material, there is no PEP required. HIV status of exposure of source. HIV negative, no PEP required. HIV positive, low titer exposure, asymptomatic, high CD4 count, HIV1 SC1, high titer exposure, advanced disease, low CD4 count, HIV CSC2. Source HIV status unknown, HIV source unknown. Management of the exposed person. Exposure code 1, source code 1, recommendation for PEP not warranted. Exposure code 1, source code 2, recommended PEP. PEP is recommended for 28 days. For exposure code 2, exposure code 3, and source code 1, source code 2. Exposure code 2 or 3 and source code unknown. Consider PEP if HIV prevalence is high in the given population and the risk categorization. Duration for 28 days. The first dose of PEP should be administered ideally within 2 hours, but certainly within the first 74 hours of exposure, and the risk evaluated as soon as possible. In case of sexual assault, PEP should be given to the exposed person as a part of overall package of the post-sexual assault care. Tenofovir 300 mg plus lamivudine 300 mg, 1 tab immediately within 2 hours of accidental exposure, either at the day time or at the night time. Next day, 1 tab once OD, continue for 4 weeks. Plus lopinavir 200 mg and ritonavir 50 mg, 2 tablets immediately within 2 hours of accidental exposure, either at the day time or at the night time. Next day, 2 tab BD, continue for 4 weeks. Tenofovir 300 mg, lamivudine 300 mg, efavirenz 600 mg, 1 tab OD may be given for 4 weeks. Expert opinion may be obtained by the following situation: delay in reporting exposure more than 72 hours, unknown source, use of PEP to be decided on case-to-case basis after considering the severity of the exposure and epidemiological likelihood of transmission of HIV transmission. Known suspected pregnancy, do not delay PEP. Breastfeeding issue is exposed person, do not delay PEP initiation. Source patient is on ART and possibly have HIV drug resistance. Major toxicity of PEP regime. Minor side effect may be managed symptomatically. Refer consult if in doubt or complicated cases. Example major psychological problem. Laboratory evaluation. The exposed individual should be assessed for existing HIV infection at the time of their potential exposure to HIV. Exposed individuals who are known or discovered to be HIV positive should not receive PEP. They should be offered counseling and information on prevention of transmission and referred for clinical and laboratory assessment for subsequent leakage to comprehensive HIV. HIV, HBV, and HCV testing of exposed staff within 6 days or an AEB is recommended. Pregnancy testing should also be available. HIV RNA testing by PCR during PEP has a very poor positive predictive value and should be strongly discouraged. Follow up of an exposed person. Clinical monitoring in PEP. Monitor for acute seroconversion illness within 3 to 6 weeks after exposure. If suspected, refer to ART center. Avoid blood donation, breastfeeding, pregnancy. Persons should use precautions, sexual relationship, condom protection, adherence, and adverse drug reaction counseling. Signs and symptoms and management at health facilities. Nausea, take with food. Reassure that it is usually self-limited. Treat symptomatically. Headache, give paracetamol if on EFV. Reassure that this is common and usually self-limited. If persist more than 2 weeks, call for advice or refer. Diarrhea, hydrate, follow diarrhea guidelines. Fatigue, this is commonly lasts for 4 to 6 weeks. CNS side effect, anxiety, nightmare, psychosis, depression. This may be due to EFV. Rashes, if on EFV, assess carefully. Fever, assess clinically for hepatitis. See if this could be primary acute HIV infection or other non-HIV related infection. Jaundice or abdominal or back pain. Stop the drug, call for advice or refer. Minimum laboratory follow-up recommended for PEP for HIV. Week 2 to 4, complete blood count. Week 6, HIV absent. Week 12, HIV absent. Week 24, HIV absent. It is important to remember that the person exposed to risk of transmission of HIV is also at risk of getting infected with HBV and HCV, hence that too need to be addressed. Post-exposure prophylaxis for HBV. PEP for HBV, all health staff should be vaccinated against hepatitis B. The vaccination for hepatitis B consists of 3 doses. Initial 0 dose, second at 1 month, and third dose at 6 months. Seroconversion after completing the full course is 99%. Thank you.